Addicio, a leading innovator in livestock nutrition, manufactures and markets a complete line of feed additives including amino acids, vitamins, enzymes, and specialty products in 100 countries. Our flagship product, methionine, is an amino acid that is important for the optimal performance and health of animals in livestock production. The use of methionine as a nutrition additive is growing on average 5 to 6% annually.
Why does methionine need to be added to animal feed?
Methionine is a vital sulfur-containing amino acid that cannot be synthesized by animals. It is also the main source of available organic sulfur. Sulfur-containing amino acids contribute to the formation of proteins and their structure through the bridges that the sulfur forms between the chains of amino acids. All the raw materials used in feed production provide some methionine, but in too small a quantity to meet animals' needs and for the metabolism of sulfur. This is particularly true for poultry, for which sulfur is the key element in antioxidant reactions and the production of feathers.
Is the use of synthetic methionine necessary in livestock feed formulation?
Yes, it is. Let's take an example. According to our nutrition recommendations outlined in our Rhodimet nutrition guide, a feed formulation used for starter chickens should have a 57% digestible methionine content, representing 5.7 grams per kilo of feed. To reach this minimum methionine level using only raw materials, the feed must have protein content of more than 30%. Adding synthetic methionine means that the naturally occurring methionine in the feed's raw material only needs to be around 20%. The benefit of this is a reduced amount of nitrogen being put into the environment and a reduction of feed cost. 1 gram of synthetic methionine is 20 times less expensive than the equivalent provided through soybean meal.
If I understand correctly, methionine is therefore vital, and using it protects the environment while allowing savings to be made. And what are the sources of methionines?
The two most well-known and commonly used sources today are DL-Methionine and DL-hydroxymethionine.
What is the difference between them?
These molecules are in reality very similar, except for one difference. DL-methionine features an amino group on carbon NR2. DL-hydroxymethionine is produced by replacing the NH2 group with a hydroxy-OH group.
Why D and L?
The chemical synthesis process produces the two D and L forms in identical quantities, 50% form D and 50% form L. As you can see, it is the same molecule with a different configuration. In other words, one is the mirror of the other, like two hands opposite each other that can never be placed one on top of the other. DL-methionine and DL-hydroxymethionine are both transformed in the body to be assimilated and used in different metabolic cycles.
How does this transformation take place?
The hydroxy and amino groups are replaced in the body by a ketone group. The asymmetry disappears and an intermediate KMB is produced that is then transformed into L-methionine by replacing the ketone group with an amino group.
These two molecules are two equivalent sources of methionine assimilable by animals. They therefore have the same nutritional value. How is methionine manufactured?
Chemical synthesis is still the preferred method for meeting the increasing demand on the market. DL-methionine is a 99% powder, and DL-hydroxymethionine is an 88% liquid with a 12% water content.
How can you be sure that these two products are indeed equivalent in nutritional terms?
Particular attention has been paid to this question for a number of years, and there are a large number of scientific publications using different models. The model traditionally used to determine animals' optimum needs is commonly referred to as the dose-response model. Chickens are fed for a given period of 28 days, for example. Methionine is added to a deficient diet in increments with 5 to 7 levels of supplementation. The animal's performance improves until a plateau is reached, which is where the need zone lies. The products can only be meaningfully compared within this need zone.
But why?
No farmer feeds their animals deficient diets. The feed is always formulated to meet animals' needs as best as possible.
So how then can these two products be compared?
The performance levels of animals fed with a diet that meets their needs and with each source of methionine must be compared. 23 recent scientific tests based on this approach have shown that the two products are equivalent, with 100% biological effectiveness. This was demonstrated in 2013 by the BARC, a Thai research institute, for example. Both sources of methionine produce the same performance levels from 0 to 36 days. Skothorst, a Dutch research institute, proved it again recently.
So all of these studies show that these two products are equivalent. And is this what customers are seeing in practice?
Yes, poultry and pork producers are of course in the best position to measure the effectiveness of these two products. 1 chicken in every 2 now eats feed supplemented with DL-hydroxymethionine.